Now, there was a time where it was normal for people to go outside in public places with their Nintendo Switch and play a game in public. When we think about gaming and our availability to game, there are a couple of options available to each gamer, assuming on what their preference is. And within those options, there's hundreds and thousands of playable options on those choices. What I mean, of course, is the number of games you can play depending on what console you own. Now, of all the consoles I own, I have to say that one of my favorite ones of all time is the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'll admit that there was a time where I would have a Switch, played it for a bit, didn't really get much enjoyment out of it, and then I'll just trade it off, to someone or a store, and then I'll repeat the cycle over and over again. But because of our current life situation, our current global issue that we're dealing with, it came to a point where now I'm getting more enjoyment out of my Nintendo Switch because of what I can do with it. Now, there was a time where it was normal for people to go outside in public places with their Nintendo Switch and play a game in public. Since we can't really do that now because of fear of this pandemic, I personally like to take my Switch with me when I visit my family on the weekends because I can get a good amount of enjoyment of playing these couch co-op games with my family. Now, of all the options out there for consoles, it's pretty much known by the entire gaming community that the Nintendo Switch is probably the only console that has the most amount of couch co-op games that you can play as a family or as a group of friends, as well as the easiest console to travel with you. So I figured today, as we are still here waiting for everyone to be vaccinated and waiting for the day that we can kiss this pandemic goodbye and go back to a normal sense of life, I wanted to show you my current Nintendo Switch setup and see what you guys think about it, as well as what your Nintendo Switch setup may look like. This is just for me to have a little bit of content for you guys, just something fun to share. So hopefully you enjoy it, and let's just jump into my setup. So when it comes to traveling with my Switch, whether it's out in public, pre-pandemic, or if I'm trying to play a game during my lunch break at work, I do always keep with me my Nintendo Switch Lite. The reason why I do keep it with me, and even though I have a standard Switch, is because the Switch Lite is a bit lighter and smaller and easier for me to carry around in my bag for work. It fits in most of my pockets. It doesn't take up too much space. I don't feel like I'm holding something huge. Even though the Switch isn't necessarily a big console, but when you compare the Switch to a Switch Lite, there is a big difference in the size. So I do like to keep my Switch Lite around. I do have a carrying case for my games, so if I want to play one of those physical games, I can just put them in and go. I also have a 256 gigabyte SD card in that Switch Lite for my digital games if I am going to play some digital games. But with that, I also have, as I said, my main Nintendo Switch. Now, I do have the Mario Red and Blue Switch, but I decided to change it up a bit because just like others out there, I personally did not feel like it was really a good fit for the red and blue aspect, because the only things that came with the Switch that was blue are the Joy-Con straps and the Joy-Con grip. The console itself is completely red, the Joy-Cons are red with black buttons, and being that my YouTube channel does have a black and red theme, I decided to switch it up a bit. I took my blue Joy-Con grip that came with the Switch and I left it in the box. My blue Joy-Con straps, left them in the box. What I did, however, is I did have a black Joy-Con grip and black Joy-Con straps that I still had left over. Used that with the Switch. And with my neon red and blue Joy-Cons, I recently changed them to have an all black style. So they're now black Joy-Cons. However, there is still a little bit of the neon in the Joy-Cons. It's the middle piece of the controller that I couldn't change, as well as the SL and SR buttons. But I'm fine with it. They're really not going to be shown that much. And I do like the way I have my setup with the red and black Joy-Cons. Red Joy-Cons with the black buttons on the black grip, and then black Joy-Cons on the actual Switch itself. Now, apart from that, I do have a 400 gigabyte micro SD card. I got it's the Nintendo branded one with the Bowser shell on it. It was from Best Buy. It normally costs around $180. I got it on sale for $100, and I think that's a really great option for a Switch that's gonna stay at home, because not only is the Switch going to have all my physical games, it's also gonna hold a huge number of my digital games. Now, I say stay at home, but it also does come with me when I go bring it to my family's apartment, so that I can play my games with my parents and my siblings. And with that, I do actually have this carrying bag right here that I use. I got this from Target for about $30, and it does have some neat features to it. It has a case on the top for the actual Switch itself, and a little pocket for maybe a cable or a pair of headphones. And inside the bag itself, you can change the way the layout is, so you can hold different accessories. I currently use it to hold a microcontroller. This one right here, actually, it was from GameStop for $50. It's a nano controller. It's smaller, so it fits in that bag easier. I figured my mother wouldn't mind using this because of the size. I also have a second Joy-Con grip in the bag in case I need to use Joy-Cons, with the family. And I do have a second dock. I actually have a black dock that I got from eBay, used for about $40, so I can keep my red dock at home because I don't want to risk, damaging it or anything like that. So there's an extra controller there, and a Joy-Con grip in there, and the extra dock with the extra charger and extra HDMI cable. I also do have my Pro controller, which I keep in this case right here. And I actually did customize my controller. I changed the handles to a red color. I used to have a blue one, but this is before my YouTube, so I changed it to red. Not exactly the red I would go with, but it's the only option they had. It still looks pretty good for me, I guess. So I keep that on the table next to my Switch when I'm not using it. I also have a cable there in case I need to charge it. And for the need of another controller, if maybe I don't want to use Joy-Cons, maybe I want actual controllers, I have another one from Best Buy. I believe this was I can't remember if it was PDP or PowerA. It's just a wireless Pro controller, but it has a really nice feel to it. Very nice, not exactly matte black finish. More of a softer material. It has a metallic D-pad, which is good for fighting games, and of course it has the back buttons that you can change for different functions. So I do have that as well, and it is also a Type-C. I noticed these third-party Switch controllers are now finally using Type-C cables, which is good, and the wireless ones are now removing the battery option and now putting in a built-in rechargeable battery. So that's pretty good right there. Now, with the bag that I showed you, it actually has the case that's on top of it for the Switch. You can actually detach it. It's a very strong Velcro, so you don't have to worry about it falling off the bag. But I don't take it off that case. What I do is I take this case as a whole and I put it in a bigger book bag, because I don't want to walk around with a Switch carrying bag in my hand. I'd rather put it in a book bag where it's secured, it's hidden. But when I want to travel lightly and don't want to bring all the accessories, maybe I just want to bring the standard Switch, because I have a sibling with a Switch himself now. So maybe I want to just bring the Switch to use his dock. I do have this bag right here. This one came out a few years ago. It's not as good as the first one that came out. The first one that came out was more of a black and red, and I'm not saying it wasn't as good because of the color scheme, even though I like this color scheme. But that one, the logo was a bit more obvious, so it wasn't as discreet as this one, as you can barely see it right there. But also, the other bag had more pocket options. They had a whole bunch of individual pockets for individual accessories. It was able to hold, I believe, 8 Joy-Cons. It could hold the dock in its own pocket. It could hold the Pro controller. It had a bunch of different little zipper pockets for headphones and chargers and HDMIs. And they also had a secret pocket on the top. But this one, it does a job for light travel. I do have another carrying case in here. It actually matches the book bag itself, which is ironic because it doesn't come with it. It was a separate purchase. And this one does have 2 little pockets on the inside. I usually use that for my Pro controller and my little Pro controller. And it does have a pocket in the back here, which is usually for like a small laptop. I use my iPad Pro. Since I don't have a laptop, I have a desktop and an iPad, so I'll put the iPad there if I'm going to use it. And it has a little pocket in the front here. I say little, but it's really not that little. You can just put anything in there. My games are currently in there in my little game case. So if I am carrying with my Switch and my Switch Lite, for whatever reason, don't ask, but I would usually put the Switch Lite in this little pocket here, and then the normal size Switch inside the case, inside of that pocket there. So that's pretty much what I have for my setup. I also forgot to mention is I do have a Ethernet adapter attached to my Switch. My Wi-Fi is not that good, and it's paid through the complex, so it's like student housing, sort of off-campus student housing that we're living. So you can't really increase the speed of the Wi-Fi. It's what they have available. So I do have a Ethernet adapter to my Switch. I got it from Amazon. It's the actual name brand one for about $30. You can get a third-party one for about $20 at Best Buy. It'll work the same. I just wanted the name brand one because I'm a simp. But so that's good for when I'm playing games online like Smash Brothers, or if I continue to play Apex Legends on my Switch, even though I might just play it on Xbox. Or maybe I play Pokemon online, I'm going to use that adapter. So it'll help me have a better internet connection. Still not as amazing as it could because it's Nintendo Switch, but it does the job. So that is pretty much it for my setup so far. I am planning to maybe add more things, try to get some more cool things going. I did see, it came out years ago, it's like the light shield that you can put in front of your Switch, and it has the Mario or the Zelda design, and there's one that has Pikachu on it. I may or may not get it. It's only like $20. I don't think I really need it, but I am trying to see what I can do to make the Switch even more fun. But I think what I got now is good enough. And as I said, it is good for me to carry it around in these bags. It is an option to play games co-op with people. Like I have Mario 3D World, I have New Super Mario Brothers U, Luigi's Mansion is 8 players, Smash Brothers is 8 players. We got Just Dance. Overcooked is, not that expensive, and it's also a multiplayer game. So, like I said, there's other consoles that have their strengths compared to the Switch, but the portability is a big strength for the Nintendo Switch, and it's why it's one of my favorite consoles. Not to say I don't like any other consoles or I don't own any other consoles, because I do. I'm just saying with the Switch and its capabilities, it does have its uses, but you don't need me to tell you this. The Switch has been out for about 4 years now, I think. 3 to 4 years, so you know what it does, you know everything about it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Just something to keep your mind off of anything that's going on in your lives, anything that's not happy, or just to have a bit of a relaxing time for you guys. I often do as well use my Turtle Beach headset. I use it for all my consoles, and this one was mainly branded for the Switch, and of course black and red. I do also have a wireless Sony headset that I sometimes use. But I don't use it too often because it has a connection issue. But yeah, that's my video for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you get to stick around and watch my other videos on my channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know what your Switch setup is. If you have any questions about that 400GB SD card, let me know. I may have answers for you, I may not. It depends on the question. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.